You're all cool?
Oh, yep. Look at the time.
And we got plenty of audience, you could say. We got at least like 5 people here. Didn't even expect that. I thought it's going to be at least one, or maybe just Jax alone.
I remember the thing that I told you about? The 3.5 people in the audience?
Who's the
We'll get
point five?
1.5 more.
Who's the point five?
Let's not disclose that at the moment. However, welcome to the third wheel, everyone. This is a podcast where two perspectives just aren't enough. I'm David, and this is Nathaniel. And every week, we're going to deep dive into a new topic. So, from the personal to the philosophical, sharing our thoughts, challenging each other, and hopefully making you think twice. But we're not alone. Because, believe it or not, each episode, you become the third wheel. So, we're going to bring on one of our listeners to shake things up with a custom Q&A just for them. So let's not get into it. Let's start.
Okay, David. So today's topic, and the one that I was thinking that we should discuss, it's about breaking the ice. Okay. Usually, like when you find yourself in this social situation, whether you put yourself over there on purpose or not, whether you were forced to be there or not. I mean, I feel like I'm a little bit introverted most of the time, so I usually like get put in these social situation. So basically, when you think about breaking the ice, David, when you have this feeling that you are like in a social construct of 4 to 5 people socializing with each other and you really don't know them that well, what is the first thing that comes up to your mind that makes you feel like, I think this is something that I would say that might break the ice? What would you go for?
From my personal experience, I would go with the flow of the conversation. I wouldn't try to stand out or step out from the crowd. I would just go exactly as they're going. I don't want to be appearing outlandish, if you might say, rather than apart from the conversation at the beginning. A little bit sneaky, but it works all the time. People don't feel like I interrupted anything. But
Sneaky?
yeah, sneaky.
How so?
Well, if you propose a question, for example, midway
Hmm.
through the conversation, I might just sneak into the conversation and answer that question as if I was a part of the conversation from the beginning.
Hmm. Oh, that actually kind of like resemble the way that I do it as well. In terms of having like, for example, multiple people interacting with each other, most of the time I find myself, instead of actually like diving head deep into the thing itself, or just not analyzing anything, I will just try to see what is the main talk is about, how they're going with the flow of the conversation, their level of connection or self-expression, and afterwards I will try to get on the same frequency that they have at the moment. So I wouldn't really seem like I'm implying my own touch to the conversation, rather I'm just like riding the wave that they have. So it feels more tolerable for them to let me in, or slightly, for example, to get me into the conversation itself. Although some of them actually like kind of push you away in a way. Like those close circle of people, like they're gonna be like, yes, they notice your existence, but they ignore you on purpose. Have heard that happen to you before?
Yes, and let me tell you, Nathaniel, it was one thing that I never wished to be going through again. Because you know that embarrassing feeling like, oh, I should have been somewhere else. I shouldn't have been in this conversation, actually. But you'll learn how to overcome it. You learn how to adapt to these witty people. They just trying to make up some kind of appearance or so on. But once you start reading the crowd around you pretty well, you start knowing what to say and when to say it. It's all about the people.
Yeah, but actually, what if like the 4 people that you're talking to in this like like in this entire like interaction or any of that, what if they are ignoring you on purpose? Like whenever you say something, whenever you add something to the conversation, you know that they ignore you. You know that they actually, like, for example, on purpose, whether reply to you less or, for example, like focus on someone else instead. My question here is, why do you think they behave like that? Why they're being like territorial, or like maybe kind of protective of their own zone with each other, not allowing at least one person to at least, like, for example, test their own way in? What's going on inside of their heads? What do you think?
I think that they're just trying to overcompensate because look at it from this perspective.
Hmm.
I'm not going to say the other reason because Jax is watching. So look at it from this perspective. It's them against you and their mind. They might feel like you're stealing their spot a little bit, but you are not trying actually to steal anything. You're just there for the popcorn. So it pops up in their head that, hey, I need to be defensive. I need to keep my spot and I will fight for it. However, unfortunately, there's no spot to be kept because most likely they are the last person to be invited to the cookout. But yeah, with time, it gets easier to deal with these people. What do you think?
Well, David, I hate to break it to you, but I am kind of those people that you're talking about.
Really?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I'm the one that is more protective of their own surroundings. As Sarah said over there, she said people are afraid of change. It's not necessarily that, but actually, yes, there are some people that really want their surroundings to be the exact same that they were. But yeah, I kind of get the concept itself. Because when I am around at least some certain amount of people, I I value them. I value the things that they say. I value the vibe it's created. I value the games that we do because every single time we have our own dynamic that we create through a set of conversations or situations. And I like that dynamic. Adding another person to the equation makes things more complicated, you know? Right now, you're not really focusing on having fun or enjoying your time. You're actually focusing on analyzing the person who came so you can make sure that they fit in into the vibe. And sometimes they can even change it. They wouldn't have the social awareness. So instead of like blending in into the conversation, they would create their own separate vibes, making the vibe that I'm used to or that I like really different. And sometimes not really the good type of different. Sometimes I just want to relax, sit down, talk to some people that I know, and then go home or just like for example chill or any of that. But for me to have a person that I don't know and then fitting into the surrounding and then doing this and doing that until I eventually tolerate this, no. I simply tend to push them away. I know it's really like a rude move to be done sometimes, but I'll be honest with you. Yeah, I'm one of those guys that are kind of giving you a hard time in those conversations. Unless you're one hell of a charming person, though.
Uh oh. Then let's scratch everything that I said then. You're invited to the cookout.
Are you sure that I'm invited to the cookout?
Let's discuss that later. But
Okay.
however, I don't see you that territorial actually, because the first couple of times we started talking, Nathaniel,
Yeah.
unless I am pretty charming, which I don't think so, you weren't defensive at all. You were, yeah, you were analytic. This is your nature, and I respect it.
Yeah.
But you're welcoming.
That's because I am the intruder. Like
Hmm.
you witnessed me as the intruder. Like the surrounding itself that you were in, you were the one who's controlling the vibe. Like meeting you, for example, Jax, Bibo, or anyone else, I'm the one that is intruding here. I'm the one that is actually, like, for example, approaching you guys for the first time. So I'm not the one that sets the vibe. You guys do, and then I fit into it. But you did not see me when I get to see new people. When there are new people in the surrounding itself, I act completely differently. And sometimes, actually, it was kind of told to me before that I was kind of rude to an extent. So yeah, you were just not on the receiving end in these situations, and I don't think you never will because like we already know each other anyway, so we already like accepted in my social constructs, you know.
Yeah. Actually, coming to think of it, Nathaniel, I think I witnessed you being a little bit defensive when new people joined. But
Hmm.
do you feel like they threaten your surroundings, or do you feel like they are challenging your intellect?
Neither. I just feel like I'm not really in the mood to deal with this.
Hmm.
It's like as I told you, it just feels like you have to exert effort so you can let the person in, you know? That's why sometimes like breaking the ice fails down because it's not really about your how good your social skills are. It's about how people that you interact with are fond of even getting to know you. Sometimes you're not the problem. Sometimes the person that is with you are the problem. So am I the problem? Maybe. Maybe sometimes.
Maybe not. But let me believe in that because as I see people are vouching for you on the side chat. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a whole nuclear war happening right there. However, let me just welcome the new people that joined. Guys, we're talking about a simple topic, which is how do you break the ice? And all of that that's going on is our thought, like you can say thinking process. Yeah. And how we can break the ice.
Yeah. Tune up next because, like, after some time, we just picked like one of the people in the audience, a very, very lucky person from the audience. So they
Very
can become the
special.
third wheel. Very special. And they become like the third wheel. We just tend to ask them some questions regarding the same topic that we're having in. And sometimes they're kind of cornered because the questions are quite adjusted based on how they personally are. So you guys
Very
need to be
tailored.
careful. Yeah. You need
Yeah.
to be paying attention.
A lot. Well,
Hmm.
not to shiver any timbers. Don't worry,
Yeah.
Ira. You're next. But for now,
Hmm.
I would like to bring up some different side to the story.
Hmm.
Let's take it to another level. Do you think it's actually for you, Nathaniel? Or generally? I'm not gonna say the social construct says so, but do you think personally it's easier to break the ice online or in person?
They both make no difference to me.
How so?
Uh, well, I at first was not really paying attention to it. I was most likely like talking to people casually because whenever I talk, I just always focus on the socializing part. So online or
Mhm.
in real life, I found myself doing the exact same thing except that I'm having like a face to face contact if I'm talking in real life. So the same methods, the same interactions, and even I saw this, the way that I am in real life is the exact same way I am online. At least like when people met me in real life, they said so. I mean, you met me in real life, David. What do you think?
I can vouch for that. You're not so different in real life.
Yeah.
However, I got called a lot on being different in real life because here's the thing for me, Nathaniel, in real life, body language makes a huge difference. And
Oh.
I'm a detail man.
Oh
I
man.
really, really like to focus on the little thing. It's how they say it.
Yeah.
Devil is in the details. So if you just notice every little simple thing that's coming out after a reaction from a word you said, from an action you took, from a decision you made, you're going to find that it actually contributes to the whole conversation in a sense that doesn't appear visual to anyone.
Actually, I think I kind of agree to what you're saying. It adds more like of a layer to understand what the person that you're talking to is like. But for some reason, more than like the facial expressions and the way that they people like interact with you on like for example their own like looks or the way that they deal with you or any of that, most of the time what I find it clear is the level of conversation that people have. Like for example, let's for example pick Sabio or Ranim, like both of them right now at the moment. So
Mhm.
their level of intellect based on the way that they express themselves, based on the way that they choose the topics that they talk about, even the level of language and how sophisticated they are that they use, all these things together expresses a lot about their own individual selves. Also, when it comes to their own perspectives, the way that they tackle down a thought, if emotions are taking over them, how would they behave? Are they more logical? Are they more rational? Are they more emotional? All these things are only learned through interactions. So the moment that you talk to them or see, for example, like anything regarding them, even see right now, that's a good example. Like Savio's way of interacting with me mentioning him reveals something about him in my own relationship. So it gives me an idea of what Savio is like. And this itself can reveal a lot more than any facial expressions. Because remember, words can be faked, expressions can be faked, ideas and everything else can be concealed at first. But the more that you interact with them in social situations, the more that you realize that parts of them become more visible.
Ooh, mysterious. Well,
I know, right?
let's put the knife, metaphorical knife down. We're being monetized. So
Who told you I'm holding a metaphorical knife?
no, it was just in the side chat. Some people are getting a little bit excited.
Don't worry.
Well, believe me,
And
I'm
I,
not. But for the meantime,
hmm
as you said, every reaction in a simple conversation tells you a lot how the people think. But
hmm
back to the question that I proposed is online or real life is actually because if you think about it from a perspective of conversational psychology,
hmm
you're gonna find like change of venue is a change of thinking process,
Hmm.
and that contributes naturally to the action and the reaction of the conversation. Let me just skip through the scientific talk.
Yeah.
In plain English,
hmm
people tend to act differently depending on different occasions, places, and physical surroundings.
As a matter of fact, as well, I think the person's looks, the tone of their voice, how they come at you with the way that they speak, also does kind of like change,
Hmm.
right? Like it does really like play an aspect in this. Because for example, I could be talking to you right now, and I'm only hearing your voice, so that's okay. But if I actually see you in real life, face to face, it's not that I'm really socially awkward or like I have no social skills, but maybe you're kind of intimidating in real life. You don't have like a smiley face. You have like dead eyes. You just look at the person and be like, "Hello, hi." You don't hate them or anything. You just have like more of a poker face, type of guy. So it does actually affect the conversation flow. You're right.
Very much it does, yeah. Well, I gotta give it to Nathaniel. I never was able to match how I was on Discord and in real life because, nature overwhelms whatever you're trying to make up. And my nature in real life is a little bit quiet, which I think a lot of people might understand this point actually, is making it harder for me to break the ice when it comes to someone that I don't know. I might
Yeah.
seem friendly, very much I do,
hmm
not to new people in real life because it's just that feeling that you cannot shake away. Like, am I intruding? Am I being inconvenient? Is that gonna cause them any discomfort? You know that feeling, these thoughts that pop up.
Yeah, it's more like when you're talking to them, or like for example, when you're being with them, sometimes you get this feeling that, oh, am I wanted around? When I say something, do they just tolerate it so they're being nice, or they actually want to get to know me? You have like a lot of questions that you don't have any answers for, and of course, like you cannot just walk up to them and be like, hey, what do you think of this? What do you think of that, or any of that? You just have to figure it out on the longer term. So it's more like you're taking a risk. I get you. You've been through that often.
Very often, actually, it's due to my nature. I'm pretty analytic in real life. I'd
hmm
like to make sure that I'm aware of the people that I'm talking to, their intentions, and my surroundings.
I remember when I was sitting over there in Mita's place, one of you guys told me that I was upset or mad, or like I had like an angry expression on my face.
That was me, yeah.
Why did you say that?
I don't quite remember, but you looked very disappointed. By the way, guys, whoever's listening to us right now, feel free to share your opinion with us in the right side chat. I just created a poll. Tell us, do you think it's easier to break the ice for you in real life or online? We would actually love to know your side of the story.
Also, for the ones wondering who would be like our third wheel for today, actually, we did not expect to even have all this audience at the moment, so we just came up with something that is a little bit exciting. Maybe we can pick a person or two or three, ask them a couple of questions regarding breaking the ice this time. So it's not only Caballero that is not safe, it's all of you guys that are not safe. Well, three lucky people of you guys.
You're gonna make it a get your hand in the machine and pick up a teddy bear kind of thing.
Actually, we can turn it into a wheel type of thing. Yeah, we can, for example, get the names over here and spin the wheel in front of them. And then afterwards, like whoever comes out is the one that's gonna be joining over here.
Ooh, or let me give you one better.
What?
What about we
Mhm.
play a little game with them?
A little game.
Yeah, let me create a poll and make them decide who is gonna be the first
Oh,
Daredevil.
oh my God! One of you guys is getting sacrificed today.
Yeah, and it's gonna be
We're
unanimous.
sacrificing you guys.
Yes.
Oh my God! This is actually a better idea. I like that. I like that more.
Yeah, that would be amazing. So, Jax, if you might be so kind and create the poll with the people in the channel,
Yeah,
that would be amazing of
that
you.
would be really nice, Jax. Actually.
Yes. Well, until Jax get back to us with a poll, I would like to actually express my thanks to Jax. He's been helping us ever endlessly throughout this whole thing, the announcements and the thinking processy, the brainstorming, everything. So really appreciate the help, Jax.
Yeah, for real, Jax. And if you guys would be kind enough, this is not the only activity that we have. There are like other plenty activities over there available in the announcements over there in the server. So if you kindly would be checking it out in the events, that would be really nice of you guys.
Yep, very much. Well, let's not ponder that much. Get back to the
Oh,
main point until we have.
one one of our
Oh,
special guests actually just suggested let's all vote Ranim. I kind of like that thought. Hmm.
well, can say no to the director.
To be honest, no, yeah, a really special guest of ours, one of a kind, I would say. Like suggesting something really nice.
Yeah.
Can you like put Ranim's name in a highlighted manner, Jax, if you can in the voting thing? Just like use like a special font or any of that.
Or if Sarah can do that, because I'm pretty sure Jax is kind of busy with the poll.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you
Oh,
so much,
thank you
Jax.
much, Jax. Thank you so much. By the way, by any chance, are the hosts, like have the ability to vote as well?
Do you think so?
I think so, because we said nothing about that. Oh my God, we're ruining families in this podcast.
I'm enjoying myself pretty much.
I guess we're ruining families, breaking ties. Is this the
Yeah.
opposite of breaking the ice?
It's not looking very good for your name. You have 3 votes so far.
Actually, make it four.
Mm. I have an excited host.
Oh my.
Yeah, I'm crying too, Ranim. Don't worry, it's gonna be easy.
Don't worry, Raheem. We're gonna give you the tissue. Just as long as you answer the questions, that's all we want. That's it. You can cry in the middle of doing it.
Oh, but I'm afraid it's not gonna work because unfortunately, guys, Discord when it comes to the stage, it's not allowing us to pull people on the stage that are not on a desktop.
We will
So
see.
if
We will
you're
see.
using the phone, it's gonna be some kind of a shot in the dark.
Okay. So now back to our topic because we kind of like drifted apart for a little bit. So, David, tell me, when
Yeah.
you walk to a room full of strangers, okay, what is the first thing that comes up to your mind, and what is the first thing that you do?
Well, they are just to highlight something. Both of these things are completely different.
Hmm. Okay. That's actually very interesting. Mind us walk into it?
Yeah. Sure. Well, basically, I have a tendency not to act on my first hunch or instinct unless it's a very hypercritical situation that I need to think on my feet. Then yeah,
Hmm.
I would act fast. But other than that, I would first think when I get in there, should I talk or not? And if I will talk, should I be keeping it low? Should I be charming? Should I be Yeah, I brought that
So
up again.
charming for you is a choice, huh?
Very much it is, yeah, but it fails every time. Don't tell anyone. Well, and unfortunately, as I said in the beginning, I never do the first thing that I say, so I'm never charming, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing that I do is I try to find a place where I can just, sit down and have my little space,
Mm-hmm.
analyze my surroundings, and then decide, is this actually interesting for me to join any conversation? Are these people sharing the same interests as me? Are they being vulgar? Are they being too much? Is it a different energy? And I will go from there on to whether joining a group with them, talking to a person or not.
Mm-hmm. I have something similar as well, but more likely it's a lot more, just direct. It depends on how I feel like, because sometimes I would feel like socializing or just like, for example, interacting with people. Some other times I would feel like to isolate myself. I just want one person to talk to. So I would go to the group that is like filled with strangers or the people that I don't know that much. I would listen to the way that they speak and the nature of the conversation because usually there are these 2 to 3 people over there that are controlling the flow of the conversation, leaving the outcomes and what happened, what wouldn't happen, or any of that. And eventually, they leave you with the insights. So you'd be like, for example, they could be talking about a topic that is completely silly. You can see how childish or immature they are. You can see what is the well accepted opinion or vibe that they have over there. It could match you, it could not match you, or any of that. So the moment that I see that vibe suitable for me or actually nice for me, I will try to get in on the same frequency. But if I see, for example, that they're talking in a way that I'd be like, why are they speaking like that? Why are they behaving like that? Just simply get the oh my, look at that. In the vote itself, there is 4 for Caballero and 4 for Ranim, and there's 1 for Sabio. You're not
Hmm.
popular, by the way, Sabio.
Yeah, not very
Anyway,
much.
yeah, we actually might have a competition here. Oh, it's switched to Caballero now. Oh my.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Get your money up, Caballero. You might be like called here out of nowhere, by the way.
Oh my. You're getting more people, Cabero.
But actually, you're still not safe, Ranim. Because right now, since I'm the host, I can bend the rules, right?
I think so.
Yeah, so
But
that
let's keep it
means.
as is for now. Let's not bend any rules. I don't want to
Hmm.
be banned. But for now, I would like to bring Caballero up on the stage. If you would be so generous, Caballero, and get up here.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Caballero. I don't know what happened, but eventually Ranim was. Oh my.
Welcome,
Oh
Caballero.
my god. Oh my god.
Janice is
Yeah.
Welcome, bro.
Janice, is that you? So, Caballero,
Hey.
how are you feeling today?
Back into the stage again. I missed the atmosphere. But yeah, I didn't know that I'd be here on stage, so I didn't break my mic and my tools. Actually, I'm sick today, so I just but I said okay, fine. People vote, so yeah, this is democracy.
So you can say that today you're in your birthday suit.
Kind of, yeah.
I'm sorry, I had to leave that remark. Well, how do you feel being here right now, Caballero? Because they told me that you always been here as a host. You're the one interviewing, asking people. You're the one that is in the lead of the questions or any of that. But right now, you're actually the ones being interrogated. How do you feel about that?
Kind of scared because I didn't prepare anything. Just happened suddenly. But I used to have a guest once, but for me, just two hosts against one. So bro, I'm afraid, but it's okay,
Oh
fine.
no, 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 no. There is no need for you to be afraid, Caballero. As a matter of fact, you need to be terrified.
Okay, okay,
Let's not
that helps me.
horrify our guest for today, Nathaniel.
Oh, I'm sorry. Don't worry. That's my way of welcoming people in a warm manner. Don't take it the wrong
It's
way.
okay. It's completely
Leave
fine.
our
However,
Nathaniel.
I'm really glad to have you with us, Caballero, but
Thanks you, thank you.
must be sure might be tricky to be on the other side of the line, isn't it?
Mm.
I don't know.
Well,
Now you're
May just
there.
save me.
are we gonna hunt
Well,
him or?
maybe, maybe not. But for now, Caballero, I don't need you to worry. Actually, don't worry about not
Okay.
preparing. We didn't prepare anything either. This is completely spontaneous. We'd like to keep it vibrant, alive, and human. And instead of sounding scripted and monotonic, it doesn't make sense. And you know better than anyone about this, don't you?
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Well, do you mind walking us through the processes that you used to follow when you had the podcast before?
Um, I choose my well. The first season was people voting for the guest, like something he did here. But yeah, and then I speak to the guest what is the topic that he likes to speak about, especially if the guest was or is special in this field. So yeah, that's gonna be good because it will be useful, and we will all have benefits for this. So yeah, and then sometimes I just send the questions because I don't want the guest to be like like me right now, scared or something. But just just to be comfort, and it's gotta be okay, fine. Yeah, especially I guess we are here among our friends, so it's not really something weird or something new. It's just a conversation, podcast, questions, answers. So yeah, that's how it was.
Oh, very nice. And there's no conversation without breaking the ice. So, since you hosted before, how did you used to do that? How did you break the ice with the guests?
Well, it wasn't really like a podcast. Like I'm asking, he's answering and the same as well. No, for me, my guest was the star of the show. So for me, I just bring the guest to make him the star, to ask him questions, but not him to ask me because he is the star of the show. And that's what happened after the podcast finished. People came to the guest, not to the host, and say, "Bro, you were really nice, and that's a nice episode." So that was my point, and let's succeed, I guess.
Hmm. Keeping it dynamic, I see. Well, not to worry
Yeah.
about the name of the podcast that we host here, Caballero. You are not the third wheel. On the other side, we are the third wheel in your story.
At that point,
Makes sense.
maybe.
Yeah.
Not to mention, Caballero, I checked one of your podcasts before. Like, I checked a couple of them.
Oh,
For
oh,
some reason, like, I noticed something strange. It was like episode one, episode two, then episode seven or eight. I was like, where did the four episodes go?
it wasn't me. That's Jeff, bro. That's me, not me. I'm not the one who's responsible for this.
Of course, Jax would have something to do with this.
No, he's the man behind everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he said we must record the episode, and he didn't record his own episode. So yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm. Well,
Oh,
this really leaves me with a question specifically designed for you, Caballero.
mhm.
So, what makes one of the people that you were with as a host before in other podcast, what makes, like, for example, hosting them kind of like awkward when it comes to breaking the ice? When does, like, for example, the viewer that you have or the person that you interview kind of like have this struggle that they give you, in breaking the ice with them?
Uh, Sometimes when a guest that I like to prepare and we prepare, and in the middle of the episode, it just change everything prepared. Just questions and answers, everything. So just, bro, we didn't agree about this. But it's, yeah, sometimes I feel like he's a tweeter or something. But it's okay. We still have the main thing, which is to have it fun and not really
Uh,
that bad.
but actually, wait, you mean like they change the entire thing as a whole, or like, for example, they kind of like improvise a lot or not follow the script, or what do you mean exactly?
No, not the whole for sure, but just
Mhm.
something like, for example, I'm gonna ask this question, and after that, I'm gonna ask another question, and the guy answers the both question and the first one. So just change my stuff, or maybe just you went to the last question or something. So yeah, something like this. So either we don't prepare, or we prepare well.
Hmm. One of the people in the audience are asking you, which episode are you proud of the most? Which person were you with that actually made you feel like, oh, actually, this episode is really nice. I'm really having expectations on it.
Oh my god, that's gotta be my episode that I was good.
That you're what?
Uh, yeah, because there is an episode that I was a guest. So it's kind of your podcast.
Wow.
Yeah. and Haven
Wow.
was my host. It just changed, so I opened my camera and made some visual effects. I think the just remember was really nice, just like a news, and I made just they call the third layer of the news, like breaking news
Hmm.
down there, and just there is a layer that appears Kava Euro, ECC, something like this. I don't know. So just feel
Hmm.
like it was really nice when it succeeds. It's not because I'm the guest, but just because I prepared this and it succeeded with live. I had the green screen behind me. So yeah, it was nice.
That was more like professional, I would say.
Yeah, kind of.
Very much, yeah. But Gabriel, what would you say is the most remarkable event that happened in that episode, especially that it would be your first time being switched?
Um, I guess it was nice because nothing that I don't know. I saw at the first that guests are really scary, really terrifying because they would be asked. But I found myself like to be asked more than ask people because I found myself knowing more about me or more knowing more information about me that I didn't before that I didn't know before. So I guess it was nice. I found myself now I like to be questioned more than ask people. So that's nice thing actually.
Right.
Okay. Thank you, Caballero, again for joining us in the third wheel. I hope you had
Uh,
so much fun sharing your own ideas and thoughts, and I hope we were just doing you justice as host as much as you were doing justice to the other people in the past as well in your
We can
podcast.
thank
never.
you, thank you. Actually, thank you for having me. I hope I didn't ruin your podcast. You
Oh
guys
no,
are
no, no,
doing
not at all,
No,
not
really
at
at
all.
all.
great things, especially your voices, bro. Your voices are really podcast voices. So I can like real professional podcast. That's really cool. Thank you for having me. I
Sure.
think
Thank you
I'll
Thank you
go
so
so
much.
back.
much, Cabero.
Thank you so much,
Okay.
Caballero.
Uh, Drop.
Really nice guy, isn't he?
For real. Like even the fact that he was commending us, that's just more of a nice thing for him to say. So
Hmm.
now do you feel like picking another third wheel?
The more the merrier. Why
The more the
not?
merrier, I would say
We
so.
still have the
I actually
same poll.
wait a second. Let me see. Ronim, Era, Savio, Jax, Sarah, and Medea. Let's see about that. So
Hmm.
Sarah. Okay, actually, okay. Come here, guys.
Oh, the wheel.
Yeah, I already have it preferred. I wrote everything over there. So am I forgetting anyone, or this is everyone?
I think it would be better to remove Sabio and Ranim because they are on the phone.
They are on the phone. Like, I mean, actually, I forgot to write the M in Ronim. Even my keyboard hates you. Okay, so, I mean, like, Jax, can you handle it if Ronim or Sabi like joins maybe right now? Do you think we can do something about it? Because like, I mean, it worked with
Okay,
Bebo,
very
so
good. Very good. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, shall I proceed?
Please do.
Okay, so best of three or best of two or the first come first serve.
I think the first to serve.
Okay. I'm sorry in advance, guys, because whoever gets this, I kind of like preferred some kind of, yeah.
Drum roll. Ladies and gentlemen, and the next third wheel is gonna be
Oh my god! Look at
Ranim.
that! I did not even do anything. It must be fate.
Wow.
It must be fate.
Get up here. Get up here.
Oh my god! I did not even do anything, bruh. The wheel wants you.
You're the lucky one. Come on, Ranim. It's not the time to play the dead cat.
Yeah, don't be shy, Lonnie. We're gonna be like it's not like, for example, me and David have anything against you. We're not biased, right?
Not even a bit.
Not even a bit. Like, for example, it's not like we were playing Dead Rails together. It's not like we don't have any history together. It's not like anything ever happened. For example, stealing our money to exploding some, like, blowing up some stuff, or stealing my box multiple times, or killing my horse by a train.
I think
Yeah,
there's a long history between you two guys.
Oh, not at all, fam. I said these things did not happen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So join us, Radim. Come here.
Okay. I think Ranim is quite busy now.
Is she?
Maybe. She's not answering, so let's move on to the next one and get back to her when she comes back.
Okay, I guess we're gonna spin the wheel a second time, and Ranim. Oh, wait, no, I thought that was Ranim for a sec. My God.
Oh, that's a false alarm.
That's a error. You kind of. Yeah, that means we invited her to join. But unless she accepts the invite, then she's not gonna be able to. Like for example, if I invite you, you will show the same thing. I guess we will have to go again.
Bring the wheel.
Okay. Let's see.
By the way, you're sharing Discord only.
Oh, damn. Okay. Oh, no, I'm not sure Discord only. Here.
Yep, just remove Ranim and Jax, because Jax is quite busy.
What? Ranim and Jax and the director as
Yeah.
well is not here? So, what now?
No, what do you mean the director's not here either?
No, I don't think the surroundings and the director right now is suitable for her to come on the stage and talk, sadly. So, no, but I'm gonna remove Jax now, because, like, Ranim just bailed on us, and now Jax... And now Jax is kind of busy, and Sarah cannot join us at the moment. She cannot join the VC at the moment. But, oh my God.
Okay.
Should they really have to remove Jax?
Yep.
Oh my God. Okay. I guess it's between the three of you guys. And I pray to God, you're not someone that starts his name with Sabu.
Fingers crossed.
Please, 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 please.
And look at who it is.
I love that guy. I love that guy. Get that guy
Come
over
up
here
here.
right now. Right now. Get this guy on the stage already.
Hey there, Ira.
Wait,
Hello.
actually. Wait a second. Actually, okay, I forgot to add Darcy. I didn't notice that she joined, sadly, but okay, I'm sorry,
thank
Darcy.
God. Okay, I'm out.
No,
stay there,
just
stay right there. Stay
where
right there.
you are.
I just said
sir.
I'm sorry. I didn't say that you have to go down.
You're still gonna be there. There's no way to escape. However, I'd like to welcome you very much, Ira. It's a pleasure having you with us on today's episode. I don't know if you heard it or not, or you're doing something on the side, but it's about breaking the ice.
Right.
So, how would you say that you go about it? What's your style? What's your mojo?
Well, for me personally, there isn't a specific technique that I follow. It's more of what seems most suitable in that instance. You know, I guess it mostly depends on how you meet the person and the context that you meet them, right? If let's say you're meeting a relative that's, not very close to you, you wouldn't, start the conversation talking about, let's say work related stuff, right? Or education related stuff. You would probably start it with more like personal questions, right? And you would maybe start up with like bringing questions about, the family, or how they are connected to you, right? If you're talking with somebody at work, you would bring up work related questions. So there isn't really a specific method, but I guess questions are the linking piece between each and every single one of them. I guess you start with questions because questions are basically the way to know more about people. So
I'm sorry, David, but who's this?
This is Ira, but with the new microphone. Very enhanced.
Are you catfishing us by any chance? Give me one proof that you're the actual Era that we know.
yeah, that's me.
Okay, I'm convinced.
Yeah,
Very much, yeah.
see?
You can
Okay,
change the
Savio.
voice, but you cannot change the eloquence.
Yeah.
You can take
Okay.
the former out of the form, but you can't take the form out of the form.
So that was all.
Exactly. This is all about the second.
I guess the old microphone was giving a touch to your voice whenever you said that. So that was all a plan to steal my oats.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
much.
Okay, Eric, I got a question dedicated for you, and it's kind of like tough, and it's strict and straightforward, and David kind of like took it easy on you. I'm not gonna, to be honest.
It's okay. Soil me with your filth, brother. I'm ready.
Okay, so basically, Eric, I want to
Yes.
know, when was it the last time you were very interested in someone, in talking to someone, guy or girl, no judgment, and you had to take the biggest risk by breaking the ice with them? Why were you interested, and how did you manage to break the ice?
Oh. Well, I can't lie. I don't really have anything at the top of my head right now.
Mm-hmm.
So you probably picked the worst candidate for this.
Not necessarily. You wouldn't say you were the worst candidate. I would say that you have plenty of situations on your mind, but maybe like not in that direct format. Maybe
Mhm.
there's one day that you, for example, find someone that was so cool. They have nice qualities. They have, like, for example, an interesting way of conversing. They have interesting something about them, you know? And
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you just felt like, oh, I want to approach this person. I want to talk to this person. But at the same time, I want to give them a good impression, you know?
Right.
What comes up to your mind when you think of this? You know, giving someone a good impression. Maybe it's David. Maybe it's actually one of the people here in the server. Maybe it's someone that you don't know exactly that much and you wanted to get to know more. This might be your chance.
Okay, well, I'll tell you an experience and I'll tell you the lesson that I learned from it, right?
Mm-hmm.
A few years ago, in school, there was a guy
Mhm.
that just brand new guy in the school. He just joined, right? And I
Yeah.
found him so cool. We shared so many things. And I was like, I wasn't fascinated, but like I was really interested in the guy. I really wanted to get to know him. I didn't really have many friends at the time, and not really friends that I was really close to, and ones that I didn't really like, that I bonded with. So I really wanted to approach the guy, and so I did. I tried to talk to him. I tried to like really, really showcase myself in the best way possible. And in return, I got nothing. He wasn't really interested in me. I wasn't really, you know, a
Mhm.
suitable candidate in his eyes. And I was just left hanging, right? I was pretty much rejected on that matter. What I
You
learned
felt
from that interaction, yeah,
you
I
felt
tried to
disappointed from
showcase my
that.
best. I tried to like really get to know him and really try to, like I said, ask
Mhm.
questions and try to like really, really get along, but it didn't work out. And
Mhm.
what I learned from that interaction is, instead of trying to showcase and trying to present your best, it's more of just get in the situation, act as you normally would, and people are going to come to you. You don't have to be there. You don't have to showcase. You don't have to like, you know, uh, just spread your wings and just like you let the light shine and fill the room with aromas. And no, you don't have to do this. It's more,
Mhm.
you just have to be yourself, and that specific frequency, that specific nature is going to lure people into you. That's something I've been trying to apply more frequently in life nowadays.
And is that
Instead
doing a
of,
good job so
yeah,
far?
personally, yes. And it just made me more aware of how I would want to get to know people, right? Because if I try to be myself, then the people who are aligned with me will probably align with me, and they're gonna stick. But if I were
Yeah.
to like try to shift myself and reform and just try to shape shift into shapes that I'm not, yes, I am gonna fit, but only ever so temporarily. Because
Mhm.
we cannot, you know, we cannot shape shift, or we cannot really morph ourselves for too long. You can
Hmm.
only, I wouldn't really say fake it, but you cannot really not be yourself for too long before you break. So it's more
Mhm.
of how I want to be and how comfortable I can be with the person that I want to get to know. If
Hmm.
that's the the situation I'm in, then I'm perfectly fine. If it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, well,
Well,
it's for the best.
well, seems to me that you quite know the answer to the question that I asked you initially very well. Then why lie to me at first like that? You answered it very extensively, even.
What do you mean?
Just trying to break the ice.
No, I meant like you answered the questions that you told me like I don't have anything on my mind at the moment, and out of nowhere you found yourself having something on your mind right away. So yeah.
No, well, that was I gave you the
Mhm.
answer, right?
Yeah. Then I'm saying like you at first you said like you don't have an answer, but actually turns out you do have an answer after all.
Well, you fished it out, brother. You're good at this.
And now, David, do you have something you want to corner Era into? Because to be honest, like yeah, too much questions from me is gonna be a bad thing for him, to be honest.
Well, being quite out there, it's really fascinating how he does it. Like he just, do it the old way. Puff is just go in there, sends in, hey, this is me. I'm not gonna change, not gonna mold, not gonna morph, and go with it. He's doing it as they might say, a la natural. It's he's not trying to fake anything. He's just trying to be himself and have a good time, have a healthy relationship with people, not self-serving or anything. So I really commend you for that, Ari. This is a great way to go with things. But what would you say is the greatest quality about you approaching people?
About me?
Yeah.
Well, I would say I try to be as genuine as possible.
Hmm.
This is something I like about myself because when I reflect upon my interactions, right? Sometimes you come back home from a long day socializing and doing all this stuff and you think, it just comes to mind what you've said and what people said to you. If I look at the interaction that I had, right, and I see I wasn't really genuine, I wasn't really 100% myself in an interaction, I would feel kind of bad.
Right.
So being genuine is something that I truly admire, something that I truly value.
Hmm.
Because if the other side is not genuine, you're not going to feel good. So you better start with yourself before you expect others to do the same.
Well, that's right. So you think genuinity wins it? It goes a long, long road before running out. That's a really
Um,
good way to think about it.
yeah, that's how I see it.
But just another thing to mention that would say, and I hope that you didn't get this the wrong way.
Yeah.
You're very, very eloquent and outspoken for someone your age.
Thank you.
Wouldn't have guessed it on the first time, which is one of the things that got me actually to start talking more and more with you because, hey, this is an admirable quality. Why not get to know that person? But you're analytical, Ira, from what I know about you. Do you remember anything that someone said to you as an icebreaker? And it worked pretty well to the point that you were bewildered?
Well, again, you picked the worst candidate, my guy. My memory
Well,
is
you
terrible.
just disproved that.
I got a
You just
memory of a
disproved
fish.
that.
Yeah, we need to jog your memory a little bit.
Yeah. It's okay.
Well,
Don't
I'll tell you
stress it,
something.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Personally, I don't know. There's a specific thing about me. I don't really like it, but I get really overwhelmed sometimes. And when someone is genuinely nice and they're trying to know me, I sometimes shrink a bit. I shift back a bit. I like to slow down, and this sometimes puts off people. It's a bit, they're trying to break the ice, but I'm just really not willing to interact. It's something bad about me. I'm not saying I'm trying to fix it, but it's just me, right? Kind of how it
Right.
goes.
Hmm.
But
Okay,
to be honest,
maybe
that kind of sums it up. Many times I've had this, but I've just been
look at it this way, Era. Imagine that there are some people here in this podcast, okay? And for example, you're kind of like, for example, Carl W. don't really have this thing of getting to know them that much. What do you think something that they might do that actually like might make you feel more comfortable if they approach you and try to break the ice with you? What is something that if they did, you probably feel like, oh wait, gonna encourage me more to talk. That is gonna give me more freedom and more space to actually talk to them.
It's probably being invited to do something with them. So it's not being directly assessed and questioned like I'm at gunpoint, but rather included. That feeling of enclosure, no, it's not enclosure, but whatever. That feeling of being invited and just being, hugged in to the group or whatever that's, whatever whatever the situation is, that feeling just makes me much more comfortable and makes me much more at ease,
Mm. Oh,
At
so it's
first,
basically like not
Mhm.
being left out in the conversation or the
Exactly.
activities that they do. Hmm.
So like let's say we're like people X, Y, and Z are talking and I joined in, right? If person X just tries to include me in the conversation, just as, just being friendly, that makes me feel good. That makes me feel some kind of warmth that just gives me the willingness to interact and truly be part of whatever's going on.
Hmm.
Hmm. And
That's
nothing beats
understandable.
a warm embrace of a stranger's inclusivity.
Absolutely. But I can't lie, it's kind of difficult to do that. I mean, Nathaniel talked about this earlier in the podcast. It is really not easy to accept somebody who's a stranger, especially when you're in an enclosed group, right? It takes some, patience. I can't lie. But
It's not
when people do it, it's really kind. It's really one of the best traits anybody could show.
The problem is it's not really about this as a whole. Sometimes people are just really kind of like against you. Just they're biased against you, just like me. Because it's not your fault. It's not your mistake. It's not, for example, anything about you in general. You could be a really genuinely friendly, nice person, but sometimes like people would be more protective of their own space. That would actually kind of eventually end up, like doing this on the extent of your experience, which might make you or give you a rough time. That's why.
Right.
So don't think it's you. It's just sometimes people are really biased against you for no reason.
Absolutely. No,
Selfish.
I understand. I get it. It's definitely difficult. I'm speaking as the one who's being, I wouldn't say rude, but as the one who like just avoids the interaction, avoids inviting and just hugging in people.
Hmm.
Just again, my personality,
W-
my
One of our
approach on these
people,
situations.
one of our people in the audience area, they asked you, how do you handle the awkwardness? Actually, like for example, that is resulted from all of this.
Well, sometimes I embrace it. To be honest, a good laugh sometimes kind of eases up the mood. And like I said, if I feel like I'm not invited, if I feel like I don't fit in, simply take my leave. That's it. It doesn't take more than that. It takes strength to be able to do this and not feel sad or upset about oneself, and just feeling like you're left out and feeling like you're unloved. But just doing that just allows you to live a much healthier life. And same on the opposite side. If you don't feel like you want to interact, if you don't feel like you want to invite that person, you shouldn't do it.
Mhm.
You never be
Wow.
pressured. That's something I've actually came to learn. I've always felt like I should look out and should invite and try to hug in and speak and just do all sorts of efforts. But at the same time, you're not really compelled to. Yes, it's nice. It's a kind gesture, but it's not necessary.
Right.
Mhm.
Well, that's an amazing way to go about things, Era. Just keeping it genuine, sweet, straight to the point, and short. Not trying too hard, not stopping to try at all. Really good thing to go about breaking the ice and getting to know people. However,
Mhm.
just to end things on a higher note, thank you so much for being with us, Era. We really appreciate you being a guest. You did an amazing job.
No, thank you.
Sure.
It was nice talking to you here.
Absolutely our pleasure.
Okay, goodbye.
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 The room is dark. Please do not send me back. I beg of you.
Get
Okay,
back
to
there.
back to the shadow realm.
No,
I
nothing
would say
beats a
also,
good sense of humor.
for real, yeah. Also, I would say, Era, that something else we didn't really point out, that this thing actually is partially self-worth. the actions that you were talking about or the adjustments that you made on the longer term, all these things actually talk about how much you value your own self-worth. That's a part of it. I just wanted to make you like, focus on that aspect too, in case if you didn't notice it.
Really good with how he breaks down things. As I said,
Yeah.
really analytical. Well,
You know.
might not be. You might be having a little bit of a tough time with remembering situations, but believe me, once you reach a certain age area, you're going to be doing greatness. Well, just to move on with the wheel, what about we take one last guest?
One last guest. Actually, we have 11 guests.
Well,
And
that'll
one
be
of
picky.
our escaped guests actually is back.
Oh, who?
Janine.
Is she?
Oh. I mean, she is back. She was saying that she wanted to run away in the middle of this when Sarah was like talking to her.
Oh, I don't actually think she's in the audience anymore.
Oh, she left? She actually did run away. Oh my god.
Yeah. Well, we can hunt her down later on, but bring the wheel on.
Okay, actually, can you tell me the names? Because like apparently we have some new ones so far.
Sure. So first,
Well,
we had
actually, wait. Or
Leo
should
and
we go by
Seven.
the personal selection? Because it seems that people are nominating someone here.
Again?
Yeah, it seems like she's quite popular. I would say Akila.
What do you think, guys?
Okay, do you guys want to go with Akila instead of using the wheel?
Okay. I have Aquila. I have Darcy.
Oh, Akila,
Oh,
we're
okay.
having the third wheel segment right now. Right now, we're picking one person from the audience, and we're choosing certain questions to ask them about breaking the ice. And a lot of people are actually nominating you. By the way, they really are nominating you.
Come on, guys. Should we make it unanimous? Everyone is agreeing on Aquila?
Yeah, but how are we gonna get her up?
Oh, Jax, the guy
Jax,
behind the curtains.
the voice of people. I didn't know
Oh,
that
dear.
the voice of people is that thick. Thank you, Jax.
Welcome, Aquila.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, good. How are you?
We're doing great. We're doing good.
Man, Akila,
Oh.
I haven't seen you in maybe a couple of hours. I would say.
I know
It's
it's
been a
been a
minute.
while. It's been a
For
while.
real.
Hmm.
Yeah. Times have changed.
Yep. Well, take it away, Nathaniel.
Okay. I mean, so there is a question that has been on my mind, Akila. So right
Okay.
now, judging from the way that at least I interacted with you multiple times, I find it that your mind goes through a lot of routes, Like for example, I
Mhm.
feel like sometimes when I'm talking to you, you're thinking in multiple routes, like left, right, up, down, there, vertical maneuver, and a lot of things.
Mhm.
Um, in terms of getting to know someone for the first time or breaking the ice with them, what is usually something that you go with? Because I would know that you have a lot of thoughts. Oh, you would have like a lot of ideas on your mind, a lot of things that you can go by. What is the thing that you go by the most, or what is the thing that just comes up to your mind the most, and you just use it every time you want to break ice?
I would say acting as a friend in the sense that I try to give other people the sense or the sensation that I am very interested and invested in what they're saying. So what I try to do is when I first try to get to know somebody, I may ask them questions that may seem unconventional when you first communicate with someone, right? So like you have your small talk and then you have your more bigger questions. For example, if I'm, meeting somebody for the first time, I might ask them not just what do they work, but why did they decide to pursue that line of work? If they weren't doing that line of work, what else would they be doing? Um, and I think when you ask people the question why, that's when
Hmm.
people start to um, subconsciously uh, consider that or acknowledge it or internalize it as a sign that this is a person that they can communicate and be comfortable with. to a higher degree than other people. So I think for me, my go-to is probably a why question. Why do you do this? Or why have you decided to make this particular decision in your life?
That's actually a nice remark because I would find if someone came to me and, like, for example, I talked to them about something and they asked me a question, why? I would find myself like wanting to answer them, and especially if they're interactive with me. If I, for example, tell them something or tell them information and they come up with more questions, or the way their nature is more interactive, I would feel like sharing even more and getting to know them more, as a matter of fact. So it's really effective and a nice way to actually deal with people. But now that leaves me with another question. So using that method that you did before, um, did you ever, for example, was curious about someone at first, like a person at the very beginning, and then afterwards, when you really got to know them or got to talk to them, you just felt like, oh my God, this person is the opposite of what I thought they would be. They're completely different. So when you try to break the ice, the result itself, like that you expected, was completely different from the one that you thought. Do you recall any situation like that?
Yes, actually, I would say one of my closest friends,
Mhm,
when I first got to know her, I actually, in the beginning, I thought that she was a very shallow person. She was
mm,
somebody that constantly talked about material things. Every time I'd ask her a question, it always seemed that her main priority in life was how can she elevate herself um, through the material needs in life. How can she elevate herself monetarily? How can she elevate herself visually, right, aesthetically? But when I got to know her, and we started communicating, and I got to know about her life, what she's been through, her experiences, and then also deep philosophical questions about the way that she was. And not
mhm,
only that, but this was over a period of 3 years, so I even saw her change in specific ways, and her perspective wasn't always the same. I started to realize that she was not as vain as I originally believed that she was. I knew that she was a good person, but in the beginning, based on her answers, the perspective that I took from her answers was okay, she's a person that is only thinking about the material things. Later on, did I realize that she wasn't necessarily thinking about the material things for the sake of thinking about material things, but
mhm,
she believed that it would help her. She could utilize it as a tool to get to where she wanted to be in life, which was not material at all. And I think a
hmm.
lot of that was also driven by the way that she grew up. A lot of her perspectives in life were very brutally, it was brutal realism. So it was just like very like this is the reality of the world. You can't change it. Human beings are this, this, and this down to the biological level. But yeah. So over time, I realized that she was actually um, her perspectives weren't as surfaced as I thought that they were, and sometimes people change. And I think that's another thing that's really important is that sometimes we're very quick to judge one another. And I'm guilty of this all the time myself.
Mm,
We
mhm.
c- we quickly judge one another and assume things about ourselves without realizing that we ourselves not only have our own controversial opinions, but sometimes even the way that we communicate, it may not necessarily be as clear where those ideas come from. And I think the main important thing is to realize that human beings are complicated, they're complex, they're multifaceted. They're really not
Actually
simple as black and white. So that's just the
actually
way that I approach that situation.
actually, Akila, there's something also that you said that was very interesting. You were talking about the fact that people change over time, and that's something that I like. It's something that when you think about it, it just feels kind of strange in a way, right? Because like
Mhm.
most of the time when people that you talk to, you get to know, for example, their initial expressions, the way that they are in general, and your bond grows with them over the years. When you
Yeah.
talk to them more, you grow more in the bond itself. But actually, what they don't know is that most of the time, even in my own life, the people that I know for at least like 6 or 5 years, I got a feeling that those people do not notice my progress and how much I changed as much as the people that I get to know recently. Like, for example, they knew me in a specific stage in my life. They know me 5 years ago. I had a specific mindset, a specific personality, a specific approach to all
Mhm.
these things. And I changed. I completely changed, and I can see that I changed. But it seems that no matter what I did, or no matter what I showed them, it seems that this initial impression always remained the exact same way it is. As a matter of fact, I even found myself acting upon the same impression the same way they are, as if, for example, we never changed. But if I ever get to know a new person, let's say in the present, they can get to see a different person that I was compared to the way that I am with that person. So
Right.
my question here is for you. Are you sure that you were able to identify the changes in this person and realize that they grew as a person and even like readjust your own impression of that person?
I think that's a really good question, but I also think it depends on the individual that is making these observations. Sometimes, so there are different types and different degrees of observations, right? Sometimes when you meet people and you approach them with an observant mindset, over time, you start to pick up certain changes, right? That means that you were not only paying attention, but it also means that the changes were different enough that you start to realize that they were a patterned routine. But that's not the case with a lot of people. What a lot of people tend to do, and the same person, like me, like myself, sometimes I can observe changes in people and sometimes I don't. But sometimes what ends up happening is we don't pick up on observations unless the discrepancy of what the person was in that particular context and what they are now are widely different. That's when we start realizing, okay, this is relevant to me as an individual, me myself, because I my brain has picked it up, right? For one reason or the other. The
Mm-hmm.
change is large enough that it's caused some sort of thought process in my brain as to, okay, why is this particular thing happening? So I don't necessarily think it happens all the time, but I think it can happen for the same person with another friend, or it may not happen with a person at all. It depends on the amount of attention that you give to observing people. So that's what I would reduce it to.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's
Okay.
really interesting, Akila. Well, what you said at the beginning about your friend that you noticed at first that she was, as you might say, shallow from her
Mhm.
initial demeanor or the first impression that she made out of her actions, it ached a question in my mind. And the process of you making up a new idea or a new impression of that same person that you saw quite differently at the beginning, as well as what Nathaniel said and added on later on about how new people might notice changes more than old people that already existed in my life. And you added up that the significance of the change itself plays a different role. It made the question even burn deeper into this conversation, which is, Akila, do you think that people actually change? Or are they still the same, but only our perspective changes towards them?
Again, I think that that's a brilliant question. I think I do believe that people change. I believe that experiences can drive a person to uh, chemically uh, rewire, right? And so you can have a person that goes through a very traumatic experience in their lives, and it changes the way that they behave, it changes the way they speak, it changes the way that they see the world. As you said, perspective is a part of that change. What I don't believe, um, what I think remains the same, in my personal opinion, is a moral, intuitive moral standing, right? So the way that I see it is, if you're somebody who believes that, killing is bad, or doing this is bad, or doing that is bad. I'm talking like basic. I'm not talking about we go into the politics and go into the details. Anything
Mm,
that I think is reduced to like the pure biological stuff, I think that that remains the same among people. But what I do believe, and why I do believe people change, is because experiences play a huge role, and a foundational role in how people's personalities are shaped. And I don't think that that necessarily stays the same. I understand that our brains develop until we're 25, and then they start to, plateau at a certain point and start to decrease in terms of functionality. But I don't
mm,
necessarily think that that stops the impact of what life can do to somebody. So I do believe that people ultimately change. I also believe that people can remain the same, but just add to their personalities. So you can add another face, you can add another persona, right? And so I don't necessarily think that, I think that change is a very big word. I think it's very broad and parameters have to be set on what it means. But I think that people can remain the same. People can change due to experiences and exposure in life, but people can remain the same and just add to what they already have that exists.
Right. So you see it pretty dynamically. It all depends on your moral compass, as you said at first, but then people actually might add layers to their initial core by learning different things in life, going through different experiences, or maybe a self-serving purpose for a fisheye, right?
Yes.
Oh, this is really interesting. Well, one last thing that I want to ask you, Akila. It's actually a question from the audience. So Sarah asked, "What's your biggest ick when someone tries to talk to you?"
Oh, um, I actually have two biggest ones.
Hmm.
The first one is when I talk to somebody and they like to listen to themselves more. They like to listen to themselves speak more than
Hmm.
engage in conversation. And I think that ties into uh, the arrogance aspect. I think arrogance is probably the biggest ick. When I communicate with somebody and they either like to not try to give leeway to another person in a conversation, or um, they try to downplay other people's responses. So, like, I say something and then you say something, but it's like, oh, I basically act like I never even heard what you said. So, I would say arrogance and it is really difficult for me to get over when it comes to communicating with somebody or getting to know somebody.
Hmm. And the other one?
That was the other one. They kind of tied into arrogance. So the first would be like
Oh,
somebody, yeah, yeah. The first would be like somebody I'm speaking to is um just I can't even like we can't even have a conversation because they just love to hear themselves speak. But the other part of the arrogance aspect is they'll say something to me and I'll say something back, but they'll try to downplay what I say or they'll try to reduce it, you know what I mean? Or they'll act as if they have the ultimate authority over the conversation. So,
right.
arrogance. Yeah.
Arrogance. Okay, you heard it, everyone. Just when you talk to Akila, try to avoid being an arrogant douche.
Oh my,
Well,
you're asking for too much, bro.
yeah, it's gonna be a tough job to basically get to do that, but we will try our best. Well, really pleasure to have you with us, Akila. It's really great to get to know how you would deal with certain situations and how would you break the ice. Thank you so much for being with us, and we hope to see you the next time.
All right. Thank you guys for having me on. Take care.
Sure, sure. Oh, take it from there, Nathaniel, and just close the deal.
We're gonna close the deal. We're already gonna just go away.
Well, seems so. Just have to end it on a high note.
Ah, okay. Well, I didn't really want to leave. I was just gonna discuss something a little bit with you, but I guess there is always a time for next time. So, and this wraps up for this episode of Third Wheel. Big thanks to our guest in the Third Wheel for jumping in and giving another conversation a whole new twist. Well, every topic hits different, and when there's a third wheel in the Wix, like there's, like a lot of unexpected events, unexpected perspectives that you get to hear, or any of that. So, if you guys, by any chance, have any ideas that you would like us to tackle next, for example, a particular topic, something you guys would want us to see discuss, or just like any general thing that you guys want us to do, just like make sure to access the thread that we made, and we're always like checking it out from time to time. Well, David is. I'm gonna be asleep either way.
Most likely.
And most likely, like the idea itself would be available in the next episode in case if it's like digestible in any way. So yeah, we will see you guys next time, hopefully.
Till then, same voices, new perspectives, and always room for a third wheel. Thank you so much for attending, everyone, and have a nice day.